What if the morning star became a second home? If you look up at the bright speck in the dawn sky, do you see a beautiful jewel or a harbinger of hell? For here's the weird thing about our neighbor Venus. It looks gorgeous from afar, but it's a hellish hellscape up close. And yet some scientists believe that one day this super hot world could become a second Earth. Welcome to our channel. And today, let's find out how we can make Venus habitable. The idea of terraforming Venus sounds like something out of a blockbuster movie, but the scientific community is taking it seriously. In fact, some researchers even believe that it might be more feasible than making Mars into a second Earth. So join us as we uncover the astonishingly complex and audacious plans to cool, hydrate, and oxygenate Venus, revealing the mind-blowing scale of humanity's potential to alter worlds. But first, get ready to have your mind blown, because what awaits us on Venus is truly otherworldly. Venus is Earth's closest planetary neighbor, often referred to as our sister planet, due to its similar size and composition. Yet beneath its superficial resemblance, Venus harbors a hellish reality that has earned it the title of Earth's evil twin. One of the most intriguing aspects of Venus is its extreme environment. Despite being similar in size and mass to Earth, Venus has an incredibly dense atmosphere that creates a runaway greenhouse effect. This results in an average surface temperature of 374 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. The atmospheric pressure on Venus is also mind-boggling, reaching 92 times that of Earth. Imagine being crushed under the weight of 92 Egyptian Great Pyramids for every square inch of your body. It's enough to make anyone feel like they're trapped in a giant oven under immense pressure. But the hellish conditions don't end there. The thick clouds that shroud Venus are composed of sulfuric acid, creating a corrosive and toxic atmosphere that is highly unfavorable for human life. To make matters worse, Venus rotates in the opposite direction to Earth, meaning that the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Add to that a year that's longer than its day, and you have a planet that seems determined to make life as uncomfortable as possible. So why would anyone want to live on Venus? You may be wondering, Venus appears to be a dead set against human habitation. Its scorching temperatures, crushing pressures, and corrosive clouds seem like an unlikely setting for life as we know it. What makes this planet so hostile to life, and why do some scientists believe it can become habitable? It all boils down to Venus's proximity to the Sun. Its position in the solar system places it closer to our star than Mercury, making it the hottest planet in the solar system. But this proximity also brings challenges. The intense solar radiation bombarding Venus's surface creates a runaway greenhouse effect. As sunlight reaches Venus's atmosphere, it's trapped by the thick blanket of carbon dioxide, preventing heat from escaping back into space. This leads to a constant rise in surface temperatures, creating the hellish environment we know today. Moreover, Venus's atmosphere is primarily composed of carbon dioxide, which forms a dense and thick layer around the planet. This not only contributes to the greenhouse effect, but also creates an unbearable level of atmospheric pressure. At the surface, this pressure is equivalent to being 92 atmospheres deep in the ocean on Earth. It's enough to crush most objects and make breathing nearly impossible. Adding to this inhospitable mix is the corrosive nature of Venus's clouds. The sulfuric acid present in these clouds creates a highly acidic environment that can burn through most materials. These factors combined create a hellish landscape on Venus, making it one of the most inhospitable planets in the solar system. So why does Venus remain a prime candidate for terraforming despite its seemingly hopeless situation? Well, it's all about perspective. While Venus may be Earth's evil twin, it also offers some unique advantages for terraforming. Firstly, its proximity to Earth makes it an ideal candidate for establishing a human presence. Compared to Mars, Venus is much closer, reducing travel time and resource requirements for human missions. Secondly, Venus has an abundant supply of water ice in its atmosphere, which could potentially be harnessed for human use. Although Venus is primarily known for its hellish surface conditions, it's important to note that the lower atmosphere contains a significant amount of water ice. This water could be extracted and used for various purposes, including drinking, agriculture, and industrial processes. Additionally, Venus's atmosphere also contains a substantial amount of carbon dioxide, which could be utilized for plant growth through photosynthesis. Furthermore, Venus's thicker atmosphere compared to Earth's means that it retains heat more effectively, potentially creating a more favorable environment for certain forms of life. This could make it possible to grow crops and support a human population without the need for artificial heating. Moreover, Venus's higher atmospheric pressure could also offer some benefits. It could, for example, increase the strength and durability of structures built on the planet, making them more resistant to extreme weather conditions. Additionally, the higher pressure could potentially help preserve human settlements from cosmic radiation, providing a safer environment compared to Earth. Finally, Venus's position in the solar system makes it an ideal candidate for solar power. With its proximity to the Sun, Venus receives an ample amount of sunlight, making it suitable for harnessing solar energy to power human settlements. This could provide a sustainable and clean energy source, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels. However, despite these potential advantages, terraforming Venus remains a distant prospect for humanity. The technological advancements and resources required to transform Venus into a habitable planet are currently beyond our reach. It's important to acknowledge the challenges and complexities involved in such an undertaking. The cost, risk, and ethical considerations associated with terraforming Venus are immense. We must carefully assess the potential consequences and unintended side effects before considering such a drastic measure. Now let's dive into the details of how we might tame this fiery inferno. But first, are we capable of such a massive undertaking? And when could it happen? Although terraforming Venus is currently beyond our technological capabilities, it's not entirely out of the question for the future. According to experts, it would require several centuries of work and cost trillions of dollars. However, advancements in technology, particularly in areas such as genetics and nanotechnology, could potentially accelerate the process. As we continue to push the boundaries of scientific innovation, we may discover new methods and tools that make terraforming more feasible. In terms of a timeline, it's impossible to predict when terraforming Venus might become a reality. Some estimates suggest that it could be possible within the next few hundred years, but others believe that it would require thousands of years to achieve. Ultimately, the timeline for terraforming Venus depends on a multitude of factors, including technological advancements, economic resources, and political will. So how do we tame the inferno? The first step in terraforming Venus would be to reduce its atmospheric pressure and carbon dioxide levels. This could be achieved by using giant orbital sunshades to reflect sunlight away from the planet, which would cool the surface and cause the clouds to dissipate. These sunshades could be placed at the Lagrange point, which is a point of gravitational equilibrium between Venus and the Sun. From there, they would use mirrors to reflect sunlight away from Venus, gradually cooling the planet's surface. This process would take many years to complete and require a significant investment of resources. But once the atmosphere has been thinned and cooled, it would become possible to introduce water to Venus. Water could be delivered to Venus via asteroids or comets, which could provide the necessary moisture to initiate the terraforming process. It would be crucial to carefully select the composition and trajectory of these celestial bodies to ensure a successful impact. Once water is introduced, the next step would be to create an atmosphere suitable for life. This could be done by introducing nitrogen into the atmosphere, which would displace the carbon dioxide and create a breathable atmosphere. However, this process would also take many years to complete and would require ongoing monitoring to ensure the atmosphere is stable and safe for humans. So how long would it take to create a breathable sky? The timeline for creating a breathable atmosphere on Venus is a gradual process that would unfold over several centuries. The initial steps, such as reducing atmospheric pressure and carbon dioxide levels, could take several decades to complete. This would involve deploying orbital sunshades to reflect sunlight and using asteroids or comets to deliver water to the planet. Once the atmosphere has been thinned and cooled and water has been introduced, it would then take several more decades to introduce nitrogen into the atmosphere. This process would involve launching spacecraft carrying the necessary amount of nitrogen gas and releasing it into Venus's atmosphere. The nitrogen would gradually displace the carbon dioxide, creating a more Earth-like atmosphere. However, it would still take many years for the atmosphere to reach a breathable state. During this time, continuous monitoring and adjustments would be needed to maintain the atmosphere's stability and composition. Only after several centuries of continuous effort would it be possible to create a breathable atmosphere suitable for human life on Venus. This ambitious project would require international cooperation, technological advancements, and sustained investment to ensure its success. But it's not just about creating an atmosphere. We'll also need to address the issue of sulfuric acid in Venus's clouds. This highly corrosive substance would pose a significant threat to human settlements and infrastructure. To mitigate this problem, we could introduce extremophile bacteria, which are microorganisms that thrive in extreme environments. These bacteria could be engineered to consume sulfuric acid, gradually breaking it down and removing it from the atmosphere. This process would not only neutralize the acid, but also produce compounds that could be used for various industrial processes on Venus. So can we imagine what the terraformed Venus would look like? If we could transform Venus into a habitable planet, it would truly be a sight to behold. Imagine vast oceans covering the Venusian surface, dotted with islands and archipelagos. These oceans would sparkle under the light of the terraformed sky, reflecting the blue hue that would replace Venus's current yellow haze. The atmosphere itself would be a masterpiece of nature, with fluffy white clouds blanketing the planet. These clouds would not only be aesthetically pleasing, but also serve as a reminder of the incredible journey Venus had undergone to become a second Earth. But terraforming Venus is not just about aesthetics. It would also bring about profound societal and ethical considerations. Establishing a human presence on Venus would raise questions about resource allocation, environmental impact, and the potential exploitation of Venus's resources. It would require careful planning and governance to ensure the sustainable development of Venus and protect it from the mistakes that led to Earth's environmental degradation. So, while terraforming Venus is a fascinating concept, it also comes with its own set of challenges and responsibilities. If we could terraform Venus, it would open up new possibilities for interstellar travel. With its proximity to Earth and improved habitability, Venus could serve as a stepping stone for further exploration and colonization of the solar system. This would allow humanity to expand its reach and establish a permanent presence beyond Earth. Additionally, Venus's dense atmosphere and high gravity could provide a strategic advantage for space travel. Its thick atmosphere could be used for atmospheric braking, allowing spacecraft to slow down and land more efficiently. This could reduce the fuel consumption and increase the payload capacity for missions traveling to and from Venus. Furthermore, Venus's position in the solar system makes it an ideal location for astronomical observation. Its clear and stable atmosphere, once terraformed, would provide an unobstructed view of the cosmos. This would make Venus a prime location for building observatories and telescopes to study the universe, potentially leading to groundbreaking discoveries in astronomy and astrophysics. With its stunning beauty and strategic location, Venus could become a hub for space exploration and scientific research, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and understanding of the universe. Terraforming Venus is a daunting challenge that would require extraordinary effort and resources. But as we continue to explore and understand our solar system, who knows what possibilities may arise? Perhaps with advancements in technology and a shared vision for the future, we may one day turn Venus from an inhospitable hellscape into a thriving oasis. It's a testament to human ingenuity and our relentless pursuit of understanding and conquering the unknown. Humanity's audacious future. leap into the stars. Despite the challenges and complexities involved, terraforming Venus holds immense potential for advancing our species and expanding our presence in the solar system. By embracing this audacious leap, we can secure a future where generations beyond ours can thrive on a world transformed from a hellish furnace into a vibrant testament to human resilience and ingenuity. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to be a part of our journey through the stars. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep looking up.